Internet. Welcome to the 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 internet. Welcome. Bow, 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 bow. Jennifer J. Sarshashino, first one into the chat. What's going on, everybody? It's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. What's going on out there? What's going on out in the world today? What's going on in the world today on a Wednesday? Here it is hot and smoky. We've got two aspects going on right now with the weather here in Tacoma, Washington. It's hot and smoky. You know those times when you're hanging out at the camping out in the woods and you got a big campfire going and the smoke blows in your face? So that's what's happening right now on an international level. Canada has a giant campfire going and is sending the smoke is blowing our direction. So that Canada campfire is blowing all the smoke down here, and it's supposed to be 95 degrees today and smoky. That's the weather pattern apparently here in western Washington, and especially worst. It's especially worse over in eastern Washington, where it's probably 900 million degrees and smoky apparently. It's even so bad that I guess that people in Spokane, Walla Walla, Yakima, Smellensburg, Wenatchee, Colville, Orondo. I wonder if there's anybody watching from Orondo. I seriously doubt it. But all those areas over there, apparently everybody's supposed to stay inside. I was honestly thinking about going to make a trek up a mountain today, but apparently it's so smoky that you're not supposed to trek up a mountain today, I guess, is what people are saying. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll put that off until tomorrow or something. Who knows? I might end up just going anyhow, maybe tomorrow morning or something like that, and just do a quick trek by myself, get a workout solo style, and get some thought process sorted in my heads. In my heads? How many heads do I have? In my head. Apparently I can't talk very well today, so that's how this is going to go. Hey, Emilio's here. What's going on? Hey, man, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out. If I do these early ones, Emilio can show up, and then I can go, Emilio! Know what I'm saying? It's not butter, OMG. OMG's here. And Big Pedro has arrived with the surprises, which is good. That's always smart. Got myself, it's so hot out, I've got myself a snappy pair of what was formerly work pants transitioned into short pants, a.k.a. shants. Got myself some short pants. I kind of feel like a Canadian Mountie or something with these kind of light khaki shorts on. I don't know if it's a good look. Who knows? But it did inspire me to think about doing some running videos in some short shorts, which is never. I don't think that the internet needs more videos like that. So I'm probably not going to do it. Sub Aqua UK is here. What up? Oh, this is early enough for the Europeans. Hopefully the Europeans were able to make it today. Unfortunately, it's going to be super late night for those of you in the other direction, headed back towards the Australians and whatnot. Al Commander's here. What's going on? And Gone Mad is asking if I was wearing Crocs too. No, I don't wear Crocs. As a full-blown adult and a chef for a long time, it's one thing. It's one thing to wear your clogs. It's a different thing to wear Crocs. It's one thing to wear clogs. That's adult. Crocs, not so much. I don't know. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Just wear Uggs or something ridiculous instead. Just be a ridiculous person, and then at least people would respect how ridiculous you're being on purpose. And Joel Gillett, apparently it's like 3 a.m, and somehow he's arrived straight out of New Zealand from the medium noche, middle of the cold night in New Zealand. What's up, my man? Al Commander's just going to sit back and listen for the day. What's up, Al? Good to see you're at least active on the internet right now. That is good. That is good news. Let's see. Did I forget anybody? Oh, Jeremy, a.k.a. Sergeant Tank, is here too. Right on. Thanks for coming out. So this morning I did some work on the freshwater tank. Of course, I shot some video while I was doing it, so that's the video portion today, and hence the title. What was the rest of the title? Oh, yeah, the killifish keep biting me. The killifish keep biting me whenever I go into the 240. Although it's not violent, it's just kind of disturbing because they try to pull out my arm hair. It's an interesting little fish sometimes. So I figured, hey, I might as well do the freshwater portion of the live stream today during the day, because I'm actually home working from home today. I could do this portion and then do some reef stuff later tonight once I get that stuff done. Plus, it's super hot out and super smoky out. It's weird. It's super hot and super smoky because Canada is sending us all of their campfire smoke for whatever reason. Maybe it's got something to do with our maybe it's a political thing. Maybe instead of tariffs or what's the word? Import taxes or export taxes or any of that kind of stuff. Maybe they're just sending us smoke now. Maybe they're just trying to smoke us out. Ooh, which would actually, that might be a good tactic. You just keep sending smoke south, and eventually we all just move away. And then you don't have to worry about goofy Americans anymore, right? I see your plan, Canada. I see your devious plan. It's actually a pretty smart plan, I must admit, because I don't think anybody saw it coming until it started happening. It's like the zombie outbreak, right? You know, we all thought it might happen, but we didn't know until it started, and then the apocalypse came, and then we were just living in it, right? But I digress. It's just goofy, right? It's just goofy nonsense. But I'm on to you, Canada. But I probably should get a Canadian tuxedo together just in case the Canadians do come south, try to infiltrate. Then I could just blend in, right? It's not Butters saying I was cleaning the display tank at work yesterday and the blue tang was biting me the whole time. Yeah, those blue tangs will bite you for sure. Luckily, the killifish are pretty small. I mean, they're only like this big. It's just it's disturbing. It's disturbing how they bite me so much. I don't understand. Maybe am I covered in like skin flake or something that they're really interested in? I'm not 100% sure why they keep biting me, but like I said, they pull on my arm hair. Although I'm not like a super hairy guy or anything. I got like these, regular old arm hairs, but they seem to pull on them, and it's like, what's happening behind me on my elbow? And it's just more disturbing than anything else. I wouldn't say that it was really violent. It's just like, wait, what? But interesting little guys, and Jennifer, you're right. Joel Gillett apparently never does sleep. I mean, the TPS reports would keep you up all night. Either way, I mean, if you got to worry about TPS reports, you're gonna be up. You're going to be up all night anyhow, so you might as well just show up to the internet if you're just sitting around wondering if whether or not there should be a cover sheet on it or not. And you got to stay up all night. Then you might as well just come over to the internet, right? All right. But, yeah, that's what's going on here today. It's smoky and hot, which is a little bit odd. And in dog news, Mr. Chips, a.k.a. Hungry Chips, he pulled a hammy this morning. He was doing a hop, skip, and a jump right out of the old bed there, and pulled a hammy. So he's a little gimpy today, my friends. He's moving around slow, and he's got a limp. But I did check him out, and it seems like he didn't have like a broken bone or anything weird like that. I think he, in between his paw and like the joint there in between his paw and his bone, that seems to be what's kind of bothering him. So I'm equating it to, I pulled a hammy. You know, he basically seems like he's got a little bit of a pulled muscle. We'll see how he does today. I got him hunkered up, and he's relaxing a little bit. So I don't think I'll be taking him for a walk today because he's got a little hammy. He's got a hammy. He's on IR. He's on 6-day IR, injured reserve. For those of you out there that maybe don't know what IR means, it means injured reserve. It's when you pull a hammy and you need a week off from playing the baseballs or the footballs. You know what I'm saying? Probably not a lot of sports fanatics watch this, so maybe you don't know. And then what else was the thing I wanted to talk about today? Probably should have written it down. Oh, I fed the anemone, or Vicky did while I was giving her the lowdown on what exactly to do. And we got it fed, and we maybe fed it a little too much shrimp because it spit out some of the shrimp. So I'm going to have to be doing some tank maintenance later today on the reef and stuff, which I think I already mentioned I was going to be doing the reef stuff later, but that's the motivation behind it. So we'll be cleaning up the leftover shrimp, kind of working out with the anemone a little bit. I have to move some corals around that I put in backwards, so we'll do that too. And then talk about my current ridiculous refugium issues that are ongoing. I just don't like how I built it, realistically. That's just basically what's going on there. So Jennifer J saying, I wonder if the Killies think your arm hairs are worms. I think that they think there's some kind of edible something or other. Obviously, they're going for them, and it is a little bit weird. Joel Gillett's on his way to work. How are you on your way to work? What hours do you work? How is that? So let's see. If it's 12:30 here, you guys are 8 hours behind tomorrow. So it's 4:30 a.m. in New Zealand, in New Swaziland. How are you on your way to work, man? How could the traffic be that bad in New Zealand that you'd have to leave this early? If that's the case. Okay, I was way off. It's 7:30 a.m. Well, I was sort of close. I was sort of close-ish that New Zealand's on the Earth, so I guess I got that going, right? Got that pretty close. But I digress, right? Digression in the digression. I'm going to invent that word just now. I should honestly, somebody should put together somebody should put together a special episode of replaying me trying to convert time zones in my head. But if I hadn't said it was 12:30 here, I don't think you would have come up with it. Let's be honest here. I don't think you would have come up with it either, just off the top of your head, guy. But yeah, so either way, we're 14 minutes in, so let's roll with the video, my guys. My friends, let's roll with the video. One of the previous live streams, Q&A question and answer section, whatever the hell you want to call it. This plant right here, actually on the right-hand side there, grew up out of the substrate. That the substrate was left, and it's two Aponotigons. Oh, I forgot on my own video here how I edited it. What a dope. I wanted to show you guys the overall stuff that's going on with Vicky's tank right now, right here at the beginning, and I forgot, but yet I was talking about the 240. So here's Vicky's tank from yesterday. We got all the plumbing done. We got the new sump set up and thrown in there. I'm not quite... Oh, that's just, sorry, that's that black bar at the bottom making it look like I shot the video all weird. But as you guys can see, and I've had so many questions about this in the past in regards to this white fungus that grows off of brand new driftwood. This is non-toxic. This is not a big deal. This will go away after a little while. Fish actually eat it. Shrimp will eat it. This fungus is non-toxic, and actually got some video of it now, so I can actually post this up next time anybody asks me what's up with this white fungus stuff from my driftwood. And it's from new driftwood. It's just new driftwood adapting to getting being underwater and waterlogged and all that kind of stuff. So people out there, don't stress about that. That's a completely normal thing, and it's non-toxic. It won't harm your planted aquarium at all if that ever comes up. So that's a hot tip for y'all on this Wednesday, this smoky Wednesday. Her tank looks smoky, and it's smoky out here too. But like I was saying about these Aponotigons that are in here, I can't think off the top of my head which variety they are, but they're a little bulb plant, and apparently some of the little bulbs were still in the substrate from the transfer coming over from where it was old set up to where it's new set up now. Now that they've sprouted and doing pretty nicely, I can go ahead and move them within the aquarium. I didn't want to move them too early. I wanted to leave them sprouted a little bit, let them grow a little bit, and get established as a plant before I move them. It's always, in my opinion, it's always kind of a good idea to err on the side of let it grow a little bit before you move it, except for when we're talking about trees out here, like in your landscaping outside. Don't do that. But in your landscaping in your aquarium, it's a good idea to let them grow a little bit, then move them. You will get some melt off, which means that a lot of the older leaves are probably going to die off as the plant and the root ball itself will pull back that energy and let those older leaves die out. But these obviously grow up too tall to be in the front of my tank. They'd be much too tall, and they just don't fit the scape. So I'm going to pull them out and use my fingers a little bit to get loose and get underneath instead of just pulling the leaves, yanking the leaves out from the top. Get any excess roots that are left over down here, pull those out too. The ones that are broken off, you can just toss those aside into the compost bin and not be a problem. Then pretty simple operation. A lot of times I use my fingers so I can get a good feel for what's going on. Because my planting tongs, I can't feel what's happening as well as with my fingers. So I use my hands quite a bit for stuff like this, especially with pulling up delicate plants. But you'll see later I'll pull up some of these little crypts that are sprouting out of place, and I actually use the tongs for those because they're so small that I wouldn't be able to really get at them with my uncoordinated fingers. You know what I mean? So we got those moved, and they're actually going to be going to their own kind of spot in the back where I've got some more Aponotigons back there and some longer, big, tall crypts that are up back there also. Because we want the big, tall plants to be at the back of... Hold on a second. So we want these, we want all the tall plants to be all the way in the back. Oh, excuse me. I ate some breakfast burritos that I made, and I feel kind of like burping a little bit. I'm trying to remember what type of tall crypts those are that are in the back. The undulatas. There we go. Jeez. gonna look through my list here, figure out what I got in there in this tank. But the undulatas that are in the back grow up fairly similarly. There'll be a slightly different bit of contrast between the two being right next to each other in the back there, but they do grow up about the same height. So the height's kind of what I'm more into at this point in regards to that. Like I said, they'll grow a little bit different coloring and obviously different leaves a little bit, but they'll grow up nicely up in the back here to kind of offset behind these big dragon stones that I got that are taking up a lot of height here. They'll grow back up. And you guys can see I kind of screwed up on planting this one and getting it all the way in, so I had to go back in and give it a little double plant action. I had to plant it once, plant it twice, get it in, and get her done. Larry guy. But yeah, I just had to get them in back there. Sometimes this is a really hard spot for me to plant back here. It's just really hard to reach back there. And there went one of the apistos. Did you see that? We had an apisto spotting. Hold on. We got to go back. We got to go back in the video here. Oh, okay. I'm scrolling back the video. And where did he go? There he is. Wait. There. Man. I don't know if I can pause it. Okay, hold on. And there. There they go. See that's live editing right there, you guys. That's live editing at its best. But we got the little apisto spotted there. I've spotted multiple of them now, and they are doing quite good. They're getting real big, and they're starting to come out now and be more lively within the tank, because I don't think they're as scared as they were before, because they're a little bit bigger. I think they definitely are not into standing their ground with the killies yet, but I get a feeling that they will be over time if I can keep feeding them and getting them grown, getting them big. The two that I've spotted that I can spot kind of on a regular basis are doing quite well, which I'm enthusiastic about. If your tongs seem to be burdening you, just jam them into the substrate and use them as a placeholder in the meantime. There you go. But like I said, some of these crypts are sprouting up throughout all over the tank where I don't necessarily want them to be. Now, that's a pretty easy resolution right now because I can just pull them out and put them where I want them to go instead of having them be out where I don't want them to be, if that makes sense. The Monte Carlo isn't really filling in as quickly as I would like, although it has definitely picked up the pace on how much it's growing now. So initially they I was getting kind of a little bit pissed off of having even put Monte Carlo in here and just thinking about maybe getting some pearlweed or something that will grow a little bit crazier, but seems to be getting rolling. But only time will tell, and maybe I'll just order some pearlweed or something like that so I can fill in some of this space in the front, because I am having a little tiny. It's hardly even mentionable, but I am having a little bit of algae issue from the direct light hitting the substrate so much, with exactly how much mulm and everything I have down there. Though all that takes is, generally speaking, a quick vacuum, just a little quick vacuum of the substrate, not a big deal. But as HC Fish Tropics here, what's up, man? And HC Aqua is here. Curious Fish, them killies. Yeah, they are biting me and 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 biting me. And then I captured this where they've decided to bite and attack this Anubias flower. The Anubias is sending off a flower, and the killies apparently are attacking the flower. They're even to that point right now, going buck wild, attacking flowers. Like they just don't want to have nice things, you know. They don't want to have nice things in their life like flowers. I was trying to get like an overall shot here, and I realized that this video is a little bit janky because I have like 3 or 4 things on the ground, and I tripped over all of them while trying to shoot a quick video here to give you guys an idea of the scale of this tank. I think a lot of my camera work leads to people thinking that, like, oh, this isn't that big of a tank, but it is a 240. It is 8 feet long. You know, it's a sizable aquarium. Although I do generally shoot in here pretty quickly, so I was like, oh, let me do a quick handheld, which really didn't come out all that great, honestly. This little video portion here isn't that fantastic, but it is interesting to be able to get a look around at things that are going on. I've been having some focusing issues with my camera work personally. It's just me. It's not the camera. It's me. It's operator error. For whatever reason, I keep setting my ISO wrong and stuff like that, and so this video isn't that great. But it does give you a chance to kind of look around and see what's going on in there. I'll probably do a little bit of video later in regards to the micro chainsword that's inhabiting the right-hand side of the tank. I will probably be doing a quick overview because I have to trim a bunch of those. They're definitely spreading. It's certainly not, I repeat, not a carpet yet, but it is definitely filling in, and they are spreading for sure. So as that stuff spreads along, I'll keep you guys updated on the trimming and how to trim that stuff as you're moving along here. Well, hold on a second here, guys. Whoa. Whoa. What's this? Whoa. What's this? Whoa. All right. Well, that's weird. Okie dokie. Huh? Okay, I don't know. YouTube was telling me I had a thing that was going on. YouTube was telling me that we had a thing going on. I'm not sure 100% what it was. Oh, Dwayne's here. What's up, Dwayne? Thank you for coming out as we go through the second viewing of the video here. I wasn't sure if anybody had any questions. It looks like they don't. Maybe I was just so darn good at explaining what was going on, like here with this driftwood, this weird fungus stuff that everybody always asks about with new driftwood. It's not a big issue. This is where the fungus stuff, not a big issue. Do a couple water changes and suck it off of there if you want. If you like, you could always you could do it that way, or you could always just have the fish and shrimps and stuff. They'll definitely eat it. Dwayne's back from the doctors. Getting old sucks. I know what that means. I know what you mean with that, man. I think I recounted my experience at the dentist the other day, which was not very friendly, and I honestly just have some disagreements with the guy on the treatment moving forward with whatever he wants to do as far as pulling out my wisdom teeth, because I don't want him out. I want him to fix them and keep them in there, well, you know, that's how I feel, and I could feel wrong. If it's my opinion, I might be wrong. I've been wrong before, that's for sure. And so we'll see as we move forward here. I'm getting a little aggressive treating this one back here, and see if I can't maybe heal it up and then be on the healing plan exactly that I want to do. But you never know. You just really never know with those guys. They get some crazy ideas and all that, along with the chips. Oh, all right. I got all these notifications. Yikes. Sorry, I got all these notifications over here, and I gotta click the buttons so that I can get to the community. So I can get to the community stuff. All right. Well, either way, that's kind of what's going on with the fish stuff, and hopefully, Dwayne, yeah, as Joel was saying, hopefully everything is all good with you, Dwayne. Hopefully it's just a standard checkup, and the doctor tells you the regular stuff, or like, you should exercise more and eat more kale. And you can be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. All right. Well, that's what's happening today. It doesn't seem like we have a whole bunch of questions for the day, so let's run through the air quote advertising portion. If you want to support the channel, our goal here is to never have any advertising or any paywalls or any of that nonsense in the way. We have some lofty goals here of stuff that we want to do as far as new projects moving forward. For instance, the 22,000 gallon tank. We're just trying to fund that. And how are we funding that? From you guys. because the last thing I want to do is put, you know, brought to you by General Motors on the side of whatever we do, and have big signage and constantly talk to you about some company that wants us to talk about them all the time. So how we're doing that is through the through Patreon here, which I'll actually post this here. And one of the reasons I like the Patreon is because it kind of gives you guys full disclosure on exactly what's going on with where things are being funded, where and how, and whatever our goals are. So maybe you missed some of the live streams or whatever, and you're like, what the heck is going on? You can roll over there, check out some stuff that's going on. One of the other ways that you can support by not really doing much of anything except for stuff that you regularly do is to go over to darkstararts.com, which is in the chat right there. You can go over to oops, I spelled it wrong. Like a dingleberry. Let me remove that and put a new one in there. Am I going to spell this wrong again? .com. Oh, there we go. darkstararts.com. All right, spelled it right. You can go over to darkstararts.com, click through the Amazon banner, and go buy all the stuff that you were going to buy at Amazon, whether it be episodes of Game of Thrones or camera batteries and salt and pepper shakers. Whatever you're going to go over there and buy, it just basically gives us a little kickback that says that we sent you there. And bear in mind, if you go buy stuff online, that money is going to be going somewhere. So you might as well send it to somebody you like. And maybe you don't like me, but if you don't like me, go to somebody else's Amazon banner and go click through there. If it's been a long time since you clicked through our banner, you have to redo it. It basically will keep in the it will know that you've clicked on other stuff in between, and that will negate whatever it is. Just Bob has to go to work. Aw, man. Don't go to work. But sorry, it's all smoky here today. I'm coughing. Air quality's not good. Let's see, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, you can always super chat like a lot of people like to do. If you like to do that and you're into that, like if your name's Corey, because we know Corey's way into doing that, you could always super chat, which is you just click down below. But the easiest way and simplest way and freest, most freeing way, like going commando, is to just hit the like button, hit the share button, and come here and chat with me. Recently, some people have addressed some of the issues that they may or may not like about this format, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you when I say this is the format that I like to do, so we're probably going to keep doing it this way. Ultimately, my goal, if realistically, my goal was to entertain a very small group of people, and I think we're on track for entertaining a very small group of people. So I don't see a big reason to do the other stuff unless somebody wants to pay me to do that other stuff, realistically. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing this the way I like doing it, which is this way. If people keep clicking the dislike button, kudos to you. If people keep clicking the like button, kudos to you. It's all good. That's what one of the biggest fun things about the internet is that we all get to kind of do and like and do and like and do the things that we like to do, right? So I threw that in at the end of the air quote advertising portion, so whatever we want to call that is handled, right? Do we handle the advertising? Because you can go to the Patreon, you can be a cool patronizer at the Patreon place, you can go to the Dark Star Arts, look at all my stuff, contact me there if you like, in regard to art and stuff like that. This painting back here is going to be finished today, so hopefully you guys will be able to see 90% finished product. I probably won't do the clear coat on it today, but you'll probably see that thing pretty finished tonight because it's getting a couple more hours of work today on that thing. But Dark Star Arts, you can go check out a bunch of my art. So we got the Patreon, we got the Dark Star Arts with the Amazon link at the top. We got the sharing and liking and all that and blah, blah, blah. And there we go. All right, cool. So we moved through that portion of the video here. Dwayne Kitchell. Wait, what? What happened here? Dwayne Kitchell actually has a question, so let's run through Dwayne's, and then we'll run to Joel's right after that. I do actually have a question about rainbow fishes. Wife is noticing that her goiter rivers are hanging low in the tank. She maybe unplugged the heater because she felt micro voltage this last water change. Okay, so let me think about that for a second. Now, fish will do all sorts of strange things in regards to electricity in the tank. Something is shorting in my reef tank. I will tell you that right now. Something in my reef tank is shorting, and I'm working my way through to find out what it is. If I'm regularly just in the tank with my hands in the tank, everything's fine, because most aquariums aren't grounded necessarily. But yeah, okay. So a box of water with the fish in it and all that stuff isn't necessarily grounded. It's typically kind of grounded to itself. So it would just kind of be a self-nullifying circuit, and you won't have anything going on. But as soon as you take your hand from in the water and your wet hand and touch it on the ground, which I did the other day, and really wondered why my arm was getting zazzed. Because you don't really get shocked at that low voltage, 110, whatever, doesn't really like shock you necessarily, like the way you see it in movies or stuff like that. But fish will do weird things in regards to if the tank is grounded or not. Typically the plastic or the glass will stop that stuff from grounding or doing anything weird until you stick your hands in there with your feet on the ground and whatnot. You're generally going to be okay. Although everything in my shop is wildly grounded, I grounded the hell out of everything in that shop. So it probably is getting sent to ground most likely out there until I'm the new ground with my moist, wet body. My body is moist and wet and filled with salt and electrolytes. You know what I'm saying. He's got jokes, kids. But being mostly water and all that kind of stuff. The 110, 120 coming out of your outlets in your house and stuff like that wouldn't be too much. But if things are going on with that, as far as they are swimming low, typically that can be any number of issues. But my first thing that I would check would be water temperature. If you and by the way, if you have micro voltage in your tank, as Jennifer was saying, if you have something shorting in your tank, it's almost always the heater. It's almost always the heater doing something screwy. So the first thing that I would check is see what's going on with the heater, and I would check the temperature. Sometimes if the temperature is too high, fish will swim up by the top to try and get oxygen and kind of gulp air up at the top. But sometimes if the temperature is too high, maybe it's set in such a way, I've seen this before, where the heater was high up in the tank so that the water temperature was reasonable down here at the bottom. So a lot of them were hanging out down at the bottom to kind of stay away or shy away from the hot water. But I would check the temperature. Always check the temperature of the laser. I have a laser gun that I can actually shoot and get the actual temperature. Really, it gives you a really accurate temperature in that regards. And I would check the temperature, see what's going on that, and then I would also check the heater to see if it is doing that. Now, how you can test that heater, you can just shock yourself is the easiest way. To figure out if it's the heater or not. You can leave the heater plugged in and ground yourself, and if you're getting shocked, then you're getting shocked. But then unplug the heater, and then if you're not getting shocked, it's probably the heater. And if it is in any way releasing electricity into the water column, just get rid of it. Oftentimes, fish and all that kind of stuff can be fine in that situation, but just err on the side of caution. The last thing you want to do is have a real bad problem, and replacing a $30 heater is probably a lot better than than the bigger issues that you could end up replacing. If you had a voltmeter, you could do it. There's an easier way to test. If you have a voltmeter, though, if you're somebody who probably has a voltmeter, I don't know that my advice would really help you out all that much. You probably would be like, yeah, this guy's a dope, which I understand, but you can definitely check it with a voltmeter to see what's going on. It's a lot easier way than attempting to shock yourself a little bit, but like I said, it's not that much to really screw you up that much. Oh, and Skinner is here. What's up, Skinner? Happy Wednesday, my man. Although he's probably relaxing, done with work for the day. I'm in the middle of the day. I'm in the middle of the work day, right? Vinicius IPDV says, cool content, enjoying the videos, back to work now. Cheers from Brazil. Oh, it's one of our Brazilian fans. Surprises! It's one of our Brazilian fans. It's one of our footballer fans. What up? Right on. Too bad you have to go back to work. But thank you for coming out, man. We definitely appreciate it. Joel Gillett said he just tried to super chat, but it won't let me. I don't know why that is the case, Joel. I don't know why. Maybe you broke it. Or maybe you don't have any money. Oh, and HC Aqua just purchased a couple of sponge filters off your Amazon link. Needed them anyways. I will tell you guys a little bit of the insight about the Amazon link. The only thing that I ever know is what gets ordered. That's it. Just whatever product and how many. How many of them and what product it is. I don't know anybody that uses it. It doesn't give me any personal information about anybody at all. Doesn't give me an email, doesn't give me any of that stuff. The only thing it tells me is like what you guys bought and what the link is to what people bought from there. And I will say you in the lead, in the lead is sponge filters this month. So far there have been 8 sponge filters ordered off of the Amazon link, which is kind of surprising but also super cool. So that is on the top of the board has been sponge filters, because I think somebody ordered a bunch of them for their fish room or whatever. But every little thing counts. If you're going to buy a big flat screen TV and 15 computers, be sure to go through the Amazon link. But if you guys are just buying some cheapo stuff too, that definitely helps out along those lines. And I know that they're just launching this thing where Canada and the UK can actually use it now. But I'm working out the details on doing that. So it currently is kind of just an American thing because I'm in America. You know what I'm saying? America. But the UK and those guys will definitely be getting going fairly soon. Joel Gill was saying, I remember once I had a filter that had stray voltage. Went through process of elimination, turning stuff on and off, then realized how stupid I was. Oh, yeah. Well, I've been through that, too. It's realistically a process of elimination, turning things on, turning things off, all that kind of stuff, and figuring out what's shorting, because it is kind of difficult to take, none of this equipment you can, take apart and see if there's a short or anything like that going on in there. Maybe the solder's screwed up and you never even noticed it. So there is that, but it's realistically a process of elimination. Like I said, it's a lot easier to do with a voltmeter. If you could just stick both probes of a voltmeter into the water and then just unplug and replug things, and when the short happens, the voltmeter will tell you, and then you would know exactly what it was. But we all have bodies, and we could all get shocked just a little bit, right? We could all just afford to be shocked just a little bit every once in a while, right? 'Tis the spice of life to be shocked by electricity every once in a while, and then you're alive. Right, Biddy? Yeah, Biddy dog's napping down there. Her little buddy threw out a hammy, and now she's just taking naps, which is kind of understandable. She's a brown dog, and it's super hot outside, and it is smoky outside. Canada is blowing their campfire on us. Those of you that missed that earlier, their campfire. Canada has a big giant campfire going on right now, and they're blowing all the camp smoke at us. and it's like 90 something outside, so it's not helpful. Skinner saying, I find if you're having electrical problems, it's usually accompanied by a buzzing noise. 9 p.m. rainy day. It's usually accompanied by a buzzing noise. That's the end of that one. And then he's answering, it's 9 p.m. on a rainy day, lazy all day, kick back and groove on a rainy day. Yeah, I understand that. When it's coming down like crazy, and just a rainy, crappy day, sometimes I end up getting to have just a lazy day like that. I look forward to someday having a lazy day at some point in time. But who knows? Who knows if they'll ever return? If they do, I probably would end up like watching some movies or rewatching some Game of Thrones episodes, because if I'm at all honest here, I keep forgetting all the people that died as the new season comes out. As the new season comes out, I keep being reacquainted with the fact, like, oh yeah, that guy died too. They all died. Everybody's just been dying. Like, oh, I forgot that guy was dead. Oh, that lady was dead. Oh yeah. But something I was listening to the other day. Has anybody noticed that? Because I was listening to what was I listening to? I don't know. I was listening to something that they were talking about. They felt like these like HBO and Netflix and Amazon shows and all this kind of stuff may or may not be the end of the movie like production company or something. Like movie productions and stuff might end up just going away because of just how superior the product is in comparison to just a 90-minute movie and then a 16-hour show. I don't know. I was kind of conflicted on that feeling because I feel like the movie theater thing has survived this whole the technological innovation of being able to play a big movie at your house or just get the file. I know some people just get the movie files, you know what I mean? It seems like the movie theaters have been able to sustain themselves. Obviously, it's much more expensive to go to a movie theater now, but we went to a movie theater the other day. They have reclining seats. Like you go fully recline at the movie theater. Really big screen. We actually got reserved seats. We could pick the seats ahead of time where we wanted to sit. So it seems like to me, movie theaters are kind of innovating to make more of an experience and maintaining that against what a lot of people are on about. It seems to me that like the movie theaters and the movie companies are going to maintain, but I wait for the day that serialized movies start coming out at a rapid rate, because that to me seems to be the new innovation that I think movie production companies are going to have to get on about, is that, and I don't know who agrees with me on this. We'll see what happens, but I think the way of the future for movie companies out there, whether it's like Universal or MGM or whoever, they're going to have to start making like a 10-hour movie, right? And then release segments of it throughout the whole year, if that makes sense. Like every month. Instead of this, put a movie out, have it be in the theater for a month and a half, then it disappears for a while, then it comes back on DVD, blah, blah, blah. You can just get rid of the whole DVD part, sell it electronically once it's released into the theater. Like after maybe a week after or 2 weeks after it's been in the theater. I think that's going to be the way to go for movie companies out there if they want to stay competitive with what's going on. Because you watch Game of Thrones, and that is like each season's like, what, 12 hours long or something like that? And that is so significantly more, I don't know what's the word, like satisfying to like watch all that. It's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of story. They're able to get through a ton of stuff, so I'm not sure. So what's going on? Oh, B. Timms is back. What's up, B. Timms? Hello. I have some news on the questionable parasite on top of taking out 4 precox rainbows. Apparently, it may be fish TB or Mycobacteria marinum. which is potentially harmful to humans. Okay. I am wondering what Mycobacterium venerum is. Let's see what that is. Mycobacterium venerum. Free-living bacterium which causes opportunistic infections in humans. Sometimes causes a rare disease known as Aquarium granuloma. Oh, I've heard of that. Which typically affects individuals who work with fish or keep home aquariums. All right, well, that's just a disturbing link right there. Either way. Well, I still don't know what you have. Okay, I'm going to be really honest here. It is extraordinarily difficult to come up with some kind of treatment plan from text, okay? I have no sight into the operation. I have no feel into the operation. I have no water test results. I have no... I'm not there. So, I mean, hopefully you can get it sorted out. I don't know how to treat your aquarium from here from some text. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to sound like an asshole because I'm not trying to be a dick right here or anything like that. But it's like, if I only have a very small, limited amount of information in regards to your fish tank, I don't know what to do from here. You know, I could test this water I'm drinking and tell you maybe something screwed up is going on. I really am sorry that this is going on. Like I said, I would need some kind of video or more information to be able to try and figure something out. I'm sorry. Hopefully you can figure out and find out what's going on. I mean, if it's TB, that sucks. I mean, if it's mycobacteria or whatnot, it's very difficult to figure out like what's going on from here. I just honestly, I'm kind of stumped because the things that you got going on are difficult to, even like from your first person perspective, it's difficult to figure out exactly what's going on. And from over here, I'm just kind of in the dark a little bit. So I hope you figure it out. I'd like to hear a success story. I hope it's good. As Dwayne is saying, Diana Wallstead has a lot of links to it. She has a lot of stuff. Diana Wallstead is probably one of my heroes. She's a genius and very smart for sure. Yeah, bleach won't kill it. Oh, okay. So Dwayne actually took him to a vet, and he determined what it was. Probably after doing a culture, which is pretty smart. Skinner's saying they should replay more classic films. New ones tend to be crap, and a lot of films need bigger screen and sound. E.g., example given, Blade Runner. I watched the original Blade Runner just a little while ago on the screen home here. The home screen here, and with the good sound and the good quality and all that kind of stuff, I don't even think that the new films really need that big of a screen. But I think it's their production style that I think needs to change a little bit. And it's hardly even, in my opinion, I think it really is more like take a page out of someone else's book, right? It's like Breaking Bad, right? So because I was using HBO as an example before, let's use a different company like Breaking Bad, right? Like Breaking Bad is a super long movie. I mean, if you watch that whole thing, you would have thought it was a super long movie. I mean, other than the weird cutaways for commercial breaks and that kind of stuff, which could easily be edited out, it would seem like a super long, really in-depth movie, you know? I mean, and that's how they shot it. They shot it that way. So I just really think that they need to... I think that they really need to consider shooting films or movies, right, in that same kind of fashion where it's like those guys that were shooting those shows, right, they're shooting it the same way that movies used to be shot, but they're coming up with, I think, more organized so that they're able to get a much longer story. It's like they didn't reinvent the wheel. They just reinvented organization, basically. If you look at, like, The Walking Dead is basically a movie production, but they're able to get, like, 15 movies worth of movie every year and make them into episodes and stuff. So I think they really, I think that's what the movie theaters need to do. But KZ saying Rutgers best role. I would be at a loss to try and argue whether or not that was Rutger Hauer's best role or not, because it's so good, and he was a monster. That guy was awesome. But as Roger's saying, Hollywood needs to be more Stanley Kubrick and less Michael Bay. Yeah, I agree that the Michael Bay production probably has got to go at some point in time, because the time scale and the money to produce all that effect and nonsense, just it's a money-making thing. It's McDonald's. It's McDonald's of movies. I wouldn't go see a Transformers movie in the theater. I just download them later from reputable sources. But B. Tim's, it's like I feel bad for your situation and what's going on, because you got a lot of issues. I wouldn't dump the system at all. I wouldn't dump it now. I would definitely keep trying to cure the things that are going on until you're really at the last straw. You're definitely going to have to remember at this point, if you may or may not have some aberrant bacteria is going on, to maintain your safety, which would just be cleaning, washing your hands really well after you're done working in your aquarium, which this is stuff that everybody should be doing anyhow. You should be cleaning off that some of the bacterias that are in your aquariums that are naturally there. If they get into cuts in your hands or scrapes in your arms or something like that, can cause an infection. So you just want to be clean afterwards. So wash your hands and arms up to here, and wash yourself. But just take care not to get the tank water in your mouth and that kind of stuff, and you're going to generally be all right. Just take some basic precautions and cleanliness and that kind of stuff, and not be and it won't be that much of an issue. Me being a chef for a long time, I constantly handled, with air quotes, toxic stuff on a daily, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of stuff that would give people infections and stuff. And you guys will notice when I work in my fish room, I wear gloves, mainly just so that I don't get direct scratches into my hands and that kind of stuff, bashing around in the reef tank or in the freshwater tank, either way. And then I more often than not come into the house and wash my hands and stuff just after I'm done mucking around, so that I don't get that much. But as a chef, I handled stuff that was potentially poisonous all day. Had to not cross-contaminate, constantly wash my hands, all that stuff. So people tell me it's just too hard to do. It's not that hard to do. It is a bit of a wear on your hands and stuff like that when you have to wash them 150 times a day. But just take care of yourself, because, worst case scenario, you do have to nuke this system in a month or two, right? If you do it now, you're going to regret having not tried all the other stuff that you could have done and potentially healed whatever problem was going on in your aquarium, because you don't have, and here's the problem, you don't have a definitive, diagnosis as to exactly what is going on right now. So if you were to really put yourself in that position that you nuke the system and essentially throw everything out, you don't know why you'd be doing that right now, other than just being frustrated. So, which I've been there before, man. I've been there before with systems where I was just like, screw this, I'm going to toss all this out and just start over and figure out what's going on. But 9 times out of 10, if I kept working on it, I generally got the stuff sorted out that was going on in the tank. So that's kind of what I would be looking into. Uh-oh. KZ, you retracted. What did you say? I wonder if I can make it show. Oh, I can't make it show. Oh, KZ put something in and I missed it. She retracted it. What happened? Probably talking about Rutger Hauer and how cute Rutger Hauer is. That'd be my guess. But yeah, I would keep going in the directions. You can keep eliminating what's going on. Remember, my advice to you was to keep going in 30-day cycles for treatments and see what's going on in relation to what's going on within your system, to get a good idea of what's happening, because you could give a treatment to something and think that it's okay and then it come back, but you really are on the long game here, where you can't just do something for a week and hope it's going to work out. So that's kind of what I would be working on here, is working on the treatments, following through on it, making sure you go the whole route. If you've only been treating for 3 days or 4 days or whatever, it hasn't been long enough to throw in the towel yet. And just remember, you could always throw in the towel later. I mean, you could always kill all these fish later, right? You could kill all these fish and all these plants and throw out all this stuff or whatever you're going to do. You could always do that later, right? But if you do it now, you can't backtrack and go, oh, never mind, I was going to try this thing. So you need to get on your treatment cycle, get that stuff going, and then see over time what is happening. I understand it's frustrating. It's super frustrating. It's just as frustrating as I'm sure a lot of people out there trying to do long-term stuff. It's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass to do this painting back here. I've been working on this painting for what feels like way too long, and I had the feeling in myself was like, fuck this painting, I'm just going to throw it aside and I'll just get rid of it or whatever, because it's not done yet or whatever. But it's my job to finish it, so I'm going to finish it. And I have those thoughts, I have those thoughts, I have those emotions just like everybody. But I would say to continue the treatment for your fish and for your plants and all that kind of stuff, you can always just boil the thing later, And I don't know that I have any better advice or personal information to give out that at this point, but that's my advice, and that's what I would do. And like I said, I've been super frustrated before, but I would just keep going on what you got going with treating them. All right. Okay. Well, all right. So B. Timms was saying he's been treating since May. It is a pain in the ass. It just freaked me out when I saw the potential for Mycobacterium marinum. Okay, let me explain something to you real quickly in just world terms. All of us right now are currently covered in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of types of bacteria that could just murder us, okay? Most of us have MRSA on us. Most of us have staph on us, Staphylococcus, if you want to say it correctly. We're all covered in all sorts of bacteria that could kill us at any time. I could sit here and run down a gigantic list if you want, but here's two that you could look up: MRSA and staph. We're covered in that stuff all the time, constantly covered in that stuff. If you go to a gym right now, do you work out at a gym? Gyms are coated in everything that could possibly kill you: sweat bacteria, borne bacteria, probably Ebola bacteria. There's probably every kind of bacteria you could ever find. Just being a reasonable, healthy person, staying hydrated, sleeping enough, eating some vitamins, and doing a little bit of workout and washing your body are simple ways to avoid these bacteria from killing you. Maybe that's a lot of work. I don't know. But that's that's the reality of the world that we live in. That's not just this fish tank that's going to kill you and infect you and murder you. I don't think anybody wants to contract a flesh or bone-eating bacteria, but most of us already have them on us. So if that's the issue, they're probably going to have to go live in a hyperbaric chamber or a bubble or something if that's going to be the problem. So remember, we're constantly surrounded by stuff that will kill us all the time, always. Now, so if that's what's stopping you from doing this, then I would just kind of throw that thought away because it's not important. That's just a paranoid thought. But just keep working on treating these fish and stuff. Yeah, it's like as what's going on here in this situation is keep trying to treat the fish and save the fish. They don't have any other opportunity here. They can't just leave your aquarium and go like, well, this guy's a fuck up. I'm going to bounce out of here and go be a fish somewhere else. They can't. So as minimal as a responsibility that is, you still have a responsibility to try and take care of them properly, or at the very least, take them somewhere where somebody could take care of them properly. I don't know if I don't know your own personal situation, like where you live, if there's somewhere you can take them to or not, like a store or a vet or somebody or whoever. But, us as fish keepers, any kind of pet keepers, it's like, if I just let the dog be sick over here and not take care of the dog, I'm a jackass, right? Because the dog can't go anywhere and do anything else that it wants to do. So I would just keep working on it. If they do die, I don't have a problem with throwing out plants. That to me is not any kind of big deal at all. But the fish and shrimp and all that kind of stuff, we have a basic responsibility to try and at least help them out, because we have essentially captured them and put them in a box where they have no other availability to go anywhere else. So I would just keep going down the road of trying to treat them and see what's going on. Yeah, as Dwayne was saying, he was crushed to lose his huge loaches, worked really hard to get them to that size. It is the dark side of our hobby. I was super pissed and crushed that when my shrimp got boiled and I lost my whole colony of shrimp with moving to the new location here. It was shitty. It was terrible. I didn't like it. But that kind of stuff happens. Life and death is a real thing. Skinner was saying that I'd wipe it down and start again. Nothing wrong with a fresh start. But then again, I've worked in a slaughterhouse before, so I mean that gives you a good idea. We're surrounded. We are surrounded by all this bad stuff around us all the time that could be killing us. So just like I said, put away that paranoid thought and just keep working on trying to save your fish or whatever. John Willis has a great comment here. If you happen to live near a university with a fisheries department or a vet school, it may not cost you a thing to take them in there and see what's going on. At the very least, you could call them and see what it's going to be. I can't answer those questions. I don't own a veterinary clinic. I don't know how much it's going to cost to do that. I'm always astounded by the costs of things oftentimes. So, we're kind of at the point now where we're going to end this sucker. We're going to end this sucker. All right. So, that's it for a Wednesday morning, daytime, whatever this costs. Whatever this video is of the day. Smoky out here. So, that's going to be it for today, you guys. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I also want to... God damn it. I keep doing this on the wrong... Hold on. Wrong computer. Not ready. Not professional. Sorry, guys. I got to push the buttons over here. Got to push the buttons over here. All right, there we go. No super chatters today, so I want to give a shout out to all the Patreon patronizers, as always. Long Woo, Stephen Skoglund, Aquarium Co-op, Joel Gillett, Cichlid Bro, M. Den Hollander, Sashimi Whiskey, Jennifer J. Sarchino, Matt Gilmet, and Karen KZ Ellis. So that's going to be it for today. I hope everyone has a fantastic Wednesday. Stay out of the smoke and the hot heat, and I'll probably be back later tonight in about 8 hours. So stay safe out there. Don't get too weird. That's it for the live stream today. Oh, is the YouTube Super Chat broken? What's going on here? Is Super Chat broken? I guess Super Chat's broken, huh? I'd like to find out. Oh, I guess a bunch of people said Super Chat was broken and I never noticed. Whoops. All right. Well, how great that is. Awesome. And kind of dumb. But you can take your Super Chat money, go over to darkstararts.com, click through the Amazon banner, or you could just email me through there, through the Amazon, or through darkstararts.com. You can go there, go to my website, and or throw it up on the Patreon page. If y'all missed the Super Chatting and you wanted to Super Chat, you can throw it on the Patreon page. You can throw it onto PayPal. You can throw it onto Darkstar Arts. You can do whatever the hell you want to do with it. I just was wondering, it's apparently broken. So all right, well, sorry the Super Chat's broken. I don't know why it is. It sucks, but I guess it is what it is. I gotta go find the button over here. So cover up your ears, stay safe out there, don't get totally weird, just get regular weird. Later.